Hello and welcome to Rauta's Underground Trio. Once again, we step into the world of underground metal with less known bands. This time, however, these are not the debut album ones, but actually bands that have been doing their music for quite some time, but they're still very much in the underground. So here they are. First, I'll give you a quick look in alphabetical order, and then I will rank them from my personal opinion based on worst to best. Alright, so first we'll go to United States with Akhenaten. Everybody already knows that this is a kind of a name that takes us back to the world of Egypt, ancient history and all. And of course now everybody's Nile bells are ringing and figuring out this is the kind of a Nile copycat band. Well, yes and no. There are some truth to those claims or accusations if you want to be one of them. But there is way more to this. So we'll be taking a look at this baby a little bit later on. This is how the CD looks anyway. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Third album by the American brothers from also Helleborus band. Then we have one band from Greece, Archemoron with Flagellum 1. If my memory serves me well, this is actually the fourth album by the very band, which originally started under different moniker, albeit also different style. Nowadays, this is something of a melodic black metal meeting heavy metal, having a date night out, and as such, this is quite unique sounding. Well, if not unique, some of the more rare breed, and also pretty cool costumes, if you ask me. This is something one of a kind, or very close to it. But that also being said, not for everybody. And last but not least, we have band from Sweden, third album by Tusenårseken, if I got the pronunciation right. Means basically 1,000 years oak. Goddamn Swedish name, they don't really go hand in hand with the Finnish language and all. This is the only one that is actually very much 2024 release, where the other ones are 2021, if I remember correctly. Some older ones I've got for review long time ago, which were also old already on arrival. And this one from Sweden, however, is indeed of this year. Pagan black metal, very melodic and atypical in certain ways. Coming from Sweden, one-man band. And since they're all related to black metal, you might think we're talking about the same sub-genre and all, but really these are all quite different from one another, and as such ranking them is a little bit challenging in that sense, or you could even say unfair, but life is unfair, so fuck it. First we'll go to Greece with the Archemoron Flagellum 1. This is a curious case because basically it marries together melodic black metal with very much Greek sounding stuff. Think about Varatrons and Rotting Christ and Necromantias and whatever, but not too much the typical Greek sound. It is there, but not dominating. And then you have heavy metal, which I guess is like linking this to the past of these guys. Because like I said, they operate under different moniker and only later on changed their style. I think it was Ancestor, the original name, so quite old band. With this name they have been out there for already quite some time, but even further you go if you go to the Ancestor years. But like I said, that was different, that wasn't really black metal, so it's different and maybe it's fair that they changed the name. So here they have the kind of a heavy metal leaking through the style. Other than that, it's mostly melodic black metal. Sometimes it's like one of those, what the hell is this? The kind of a weird idea black metal. But other than that, it's kind of also traditional. Traditional maybe even more so than a lot of nowadays other bands, because this is definitely taking the heavy metal past and making it to the present and, you know, just making it a weird combo. Some people are gonna like it, I think, a lot, because it doesn't sound like your typical second wave black metal. But some people will consider and say, yeah, it's not black metal enough. It's not exactly very extreme, but more on the softer side of things. So kind of an entry-level black metal in the sense, and especially if you have the thing for, I don't know, Eastern European black metal, maybe this will resonate with you a little bit too much. For me, it's a bit hit and miss. There's some nice ideas, and then there are ideas which I'd rather leave alone. So here it is, as first of the pile, coming from worst to best. Then from Sweden, this Tusenårseken. And this is curious case. I previously featured the previous album by the band actually this year, even though it was from 2022. And this is a kind of a hard cookie to crack. Basically, there's so much clean vocal parts that they're putting me off. Don't get me wrong. The vocal is just really, really good. But the problem is there's way too much clean vocals for my liking. It's almost like if you're force-feeding some heavy metal, almost power metal, into melodic black metal and trying to make it work. For some people, I guess this is exactly what they're looking for, especially if you're coming from more folkier or Viking metal backgrounds. I mean, there are bands like maybe Monogarm or I'm thinking of this one guy. Doesn't matter. There is basically this Monogarm, Borgnagar kind of a thing with but less progressive metal stuff coming on. Basically, this is a weird combo because the other half of the album is just melodic black metal all the way through. The kind of a basic, nothing out of ordinary kind of stuff. And then you have lots of those clean vocals. Lots of them. Too much for me, like I said. The other thing, which I find a little bit of a problem, is that the production isn't that good. Being one-man band, it kind of shows one man is operating everything here. And that's hurting the whole album because it could sound so much more powerful. And in fact, album this melodic really should have better production. Think about the Mörgrynings or Dark Funerals and the other typical melodic black metal names, Dissection and the like from Sweden. And then you compare this one and you're like, okay, I get the point. So this sounds much like a demo, but it's over 50 minutes, which is a little bit too much one go. I'm not saying this is a useless album, because obviously it's not. I mean, it's past mediocrity, but there's still so many minor bumps on the road which make me having a hard time to enjoy it. Partially, a big part of it is because of the clean vocals. I keep saying that because it really, really bothers me with this album. But then again, maybe without those, it would be just another melodic black metal album coming from Sweden. So, I don't know. Less unique it would be, even if also maybe more my cup of tea. But if you don't mind this kind of a heavy metal meeting black metal, yet different from the Greek one, maybe give it a go. But this is acquired taste only, let me tell you that. So, the best of the pile here is Akhenaten, which is basically Nile reminder, or Nile reminiscent, but this is more like a death plague versus Nile being more technical, even so atmospheric death metal coming from the Egyptian themes. Always been doing that for decades now. Now Akhenaten is not a new band, but obviously yet younger than Nile. And the combination what they have here is different from Nile in a nice fashion. This isn't songwriting wise as good as Nile albums in my opinion, but it is still a good album. There are lots of really cool atmospheric parts, or you could even call them ambient parts, which give you this Middle Eastern vibe, or Mediterranean, North African vibe, Egypt being from there. And you have the kind of stuff that it's more like soundtrack music, put together, marrying once again some black death metal combination in atmospheric wise. Or ways maybe would be the right thing to say. It's a nice combination of, growlier parts or raspier parts, and then having this. So if, say, Behemoth decided to go full Egypt, go full Nile, if you will, maybe the result would be something like what Akhenaten is doing. In my opinion, this third album is indeed a good one, but could be even more catchier. Maybe there's even too much of those soundtrack parts compared to the metal parts. I don't know. It's not for everybody, given the lot of soundtrack vibes here, but I think they're doing a solid job. So once again, 3 different types of extreme metal for people who like, well, extreme metal of various kinds, black metal and beyond. Links to these babies are included in the description box, so give them a go if you need something out of ordinary, because none of these albums sound your typical black metal or death metal or extreme metal album, but quite something different. So give it a go. This is just my opinion about the worst to play best here, so you might totally disagree, and it's fine. Listen to them and figure out for yourself whether you like them or not, but these are all available obviously on CD format and possibly some other formats as well. Check out the links for more information. Bye bye.